maybe. Don't mind me just fudging around with this thing. Oh, that's why you're kind of off kilter. Explains a few things. Figure we do this video or live stream in a different space. Although I'm just now realizing I wish you guys could see a little bit more. So I think I'm gonna try to fix that real quick. Shimmy you guys to the side for a second. Yeah. If I rotate this. Like I mentioned before, we're still currently in the midst of trying to clean everything down here. So here's hoping. You guys can see a little bit more. Oh, I'm bouncy. Oh, we wait for a few people to get here. Why is there a red Rex on the floor? Oh, okay, you're not the OG one. I was so confused. I'm like, why is there a red Rex and why is he missing his arm? Also, why is he covered in spider webs? I'm like, oh yeah, you're an extra one, right? You're the one I was supposed to eventually 3D scan an arm and make you a new arm. We'll hopefully get to you at some point. Oh, but anyways, Casey's went to bed a little bit early. It's the other reason I'm not filming in my office right now is so we can talk about stuff and I don't have to worry about randomly waking her up because her bed's right above my office. So good times, good times. Also, I got all the fun little Jurassic Park stuff painting out here. I just realized we do this in the basement. Still got all this stuff from doing the live streams just kind of handing out. Jessica hasn't put up everything yet. Currently, we are located right in front of the vintage section of all the old Jurassic Park figures. Oh, I mean, I bet you, I am sure sleepy. I will say, having seen the movie now, I don't think he looks bad. I think the toy's off more than anything now. The coloring of the toy does not nearly match the way that the Rex looks in the movie. Also seems kind of out of proportion. Actually, now that I look at it, like almost everything kind of looks off because like the face should be more fudged up. If we're trying to make it more like the movie, his shoulders are kind of thin. Yeah, I'll say that this figure I don't think is quite the best representation of the guy, having seen it. Kind of dig it though. If anything, it should be more like a Rancor from Star Wars with the little mini alien queen arms going on. Because just the way that was kind of like posturing or presenting itself for parts of it, it kind of reminded me more of the Rancor than anything. Although I will say the short stubby tail kind of made more sense. You get to see some of that in the movie. But I will say, figure, I still don't mind the figure. Not the best representation. If anything, the paint job is like horribly off on this thing. As per the movie. Actually, a few of them are now that we've seen it. For instance, I really love the new T-Rex. I've been loving the new T-Rex toys. Having seen the movie now, the colors are horrendously off on that figure. Hey, Miguel. Hey, Gabriel. Finally getting some people talking. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of discussion going because I don't want to try to get into super spoilery talk unless people have seen it already and want to talk about it more. Kind of just figure I'd get my like initial impressions from the movie before I sit down probably tomorrow-ish and do like a full review. You got a Rancor? I do have a Rancor. Oh, problem is he's so hard to get out. And he's also in the office because I have like Boba Fett sitting on top of it and everything. It's one of the it's not the vintage line. I think it was like when they were doing like the vintage scale, like the Kenner scales back in like 2010s is what the Rancor's from. It was from like a multi-pack, but it's just I just have the Rancor. Just because I thought it scaled okay with the Black Series, like good enough. So I decided to grab that. But yeah, T-Rex. Also, the coloring is horrendously off on that thing. It should be like way more brown instead of being like the grays and blacks. Granted, I like the grays and blacks on the figure, but again, not the best color representation. which is odd because most of the other Mattel figures kind of remotely color correctly. Granted, they don't. It's not like they have like the right dry brushing and what have you, because again, they're action figures. But even look like the man, I always say its name around Jessica Christ. It's the Giganotosaurus. I always want to call it just the Gigantosaurus from Jurassic World Dominion. That figure looks solid with the coloring. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's technically my wife's. My wife is the one that like hard collects the Jurassic Park / World stuff. I just help out periodically. Like for instance, I bought the Spinosaurus. I like the Spinosaurus. Actually, one fun thing she just recently got, and I don't know remotely what this thing is, but she kept going on and on that she wanted to get this thing. And it was like on eBay for like $100 and something, and she decided to do a pay for and grab it. All I can guess is it's something from Universal Studios because it has the sticker on the bottom, like it has the logos on the bottom for Universal Studios and the copyright information and such. It was $10 at some point, but we couldn't figure out like anything to really reference it. I don't have a Jango Fett actually. It's a Boba Fett, Rex helmet, and just a normal clone trooper. Sadly, don't have a Jango. So yeah, we have no idea what this is from because there's no like other pictures online of this thing other than what the dude was selling. So it might be a prototype. Could be something somebody made. We're not 100%. Like at least everything's like spelt correctly, which kind of makes me think it might be okay. Ultimate Source, baby? Yeah. Actually, yeah, I think we do, right? Because I bought her the humans a while back. I bought her the human that came with it. Now just knowing where it went. Because I bought it loose. Oh, she has everything kind of sitting right here. Is Ultimate Source hanging out? I don't see it. Is it over here? She has like all the babies just kind of littered around here. She was the one that was kind of orchestrating everything. Because I knew she didn't have one of the human guys, so... Hang out here. Oh, that's for Carno. I spent like 20 minutes just like walking around here trying to find random dinosaurs. Alright, I'm gonna be honest. I don't see it. Now walking around, I found the little Carno. Little devil Carno. Yeah, like I said, she's the one that kind of orchestrates this, so I'm not 100% where everything is. Because all of her Chaos ones are right here. Which I would have thought the babies would have been hanging out there. But like I said, I don't see it. But I know she has it. So if I get a hold of her at some point, I'll... Oh, the Demon Carno? That guy. Watch out. This is one of her Christmas presents from a few years ago. Yeah, no, he's a super cool one. At some point, I kind of want to try to make something to fill in the damage effects. But yeah, he's sweet. The one she got this year was the other Carno she was missing. Oh, there he is. This is the one I picked her up this year. Was this guy? which I kind of dig because he reminds me of. You ever remember the old dinosaur movie Carnotaurus? There's a Carnosaurus. Is that what it's called? It's like the dinosaur horror movies from like the late '80s. It reminds me a lot of that, especially of like the super upright posturing. Oh, Carnosaur, yes. But just the way this one's like presented, it super reminds me of that. I will say I'm not 100% if something's wrong with this one's gimmick. Because I think something's supposed to go on with the legs and the mouse supposed to activate. Granted, I got this one for a pretty good price, so I ain't gonna complain too much. Okay, so personally for me, I actually kind of dig the movie. Going into it, I'll be honest, I thought Jurassic World Dominion was hot garbage. Didn't care for the movie much at all. It's not nearly as bad as Last Jedi caliber of Star Wars for me. Like, if you force me to watch Dominion, I'll be okay watching Dominion. It's got some fun things. There's some fun things that happen. But the bug plot and everything's stupid. Fallen Kingdom has some cool parts. Still quite a bit of issues, but still not a big fan of Fallen Kingdom. Yeah, no, that was horrendous. Oh, hey, since you're down here, where's the baby Ultima?
I haven't put her up yet.
Oh, okay, that's why I couldn't find the darn thing.
It's with the babies. Let me get a paint job.
Oh, she hid it in a box on me. Yeah, I was just saying, because I bought her the human that it came with. Yeah, there he is. Oh, things are popping out. There's him and his gun. He's in the little baggie.
I put all the other babies up here.
Yeah, as I saw them, I thought he was going to be hanging out with it. See if it doesn't focus on my head. Yeah, because if you want to buy like the figure minty, it's like over $100. I can't remember how much I paid for the guy loose, but it was quite a bit too. But yeah, definitely out of the first three, the first Jurassic World, I actually kind of dig. What? Oh yeah, I was showing people your funky Universal Studios cup that we don't know what it is. We just have we're hoping it's Universal Studios. That's what it says, anyways. But yeah, oh yeah, 90s. It's 100%. It's got like a tiki vibe. We're getting really distracted. But anyways, like Jurassic World, I actually really enjoyed. I thought the Indominus Rex was sweet. I like the presentation of the movie. I actually I liked the goofiness of it, like him riding with the velociraptors and the big old giant monster fight at the end. I thought was fun. And overall, like the plot and the characters, didn't really mind. It just once we left that movie, it horrendously veered off and did things. So World's sweet. I actually like World a little bit more than Jurassic Park 3. Jurassic Park 3, I think, is still fine too. Like it's definitely watchable for me. But for me, it was like the weakest of the original three easily. Yeah, it reminds me. It's like if the closest we'll probably get to like Dino Crisis ever getting a movie is Fallen Kingdom, which is honestly when the movie gets like kind of more entertaining for me is when that's happening. Like him doing the hunting blue down thing or whatever. I just didn't care for that much at all. Oh yeah, Dominion just like everything about it just makes me sad. It really does. Like it's just like it's cool to see like the Dimetrotons getting some loving in the movie and whatnot, but that's really all I got out of that one. Yeah, Locust. But yeah, so like in my current echelon of Jurassic Park movies, it's Jurassic Park 1, best one. Lost World, second best one. And then currently I'm hovering between World and this new one, Rebirth. Because like I said, I thought plot wise, it's kind of safe. It reminds me a lot of Jurassic Park 3 and kind of the overall setup for the premise in a way. Not just like the whole dynamic of you have like your heroes with random family trying not to get eaten by dinosaurs while trying to procure things while doing it with weird big bad genetic dinosaur well, it's hunting them down in JP3. This one, it's just kind of like, hi Ripley, Puppy wants to be in the video. Yep. Okay, jeez, I know you're by yourself most of the day. So, poor doggy. Honestly, the DRX, the way it presents itself and things that happen to the movie, it's just the Rancor from Return of the Jedi. That is all it is. It's just the way it's like the arms are presented, the way it grabs things, certain scenes that happens in the movie. It's just the Rancor. That's all it is. Yeah, her name's Ripley. I know eventually I want to get her like a little construction harness and such, so she has like the little power loader thing going on. Yep. Yep. Puppy. She's super wubby. She loves kisses. She loves cuddling, which is really odd for somebody that is freaking border collie and Jack Russell Terrier. She is super snuggles. Like she gives hugs. She loves giving hugs. She loves giving kisses. She constantly wants attention. You like going for walks, but you're not super pulley while doing walks, which again, really odd for a border collie kind of breed. Like her temperament's not remotely like border collie English shepherd, which is what we were kind of expecting. I've never dealt with a Jack, but I feel like she's a little bit more akin to that. Hi, Cat. Cat also wants to be involved in this video. Yeah, like she's definitely got like the collie face. She's got the collie face. And I would say like her build is very collie. It's just she has a really short coat. And then this Myrtle coat going on her undersection. But yeah, for Rebirth, like I said, I'm trying to just not get super spoilery into it. But like I said, I'm currently, I would put it above Jurassic Park 3 in terms of my rankings of, because I honestly really liked what happened in this one. Because like I said, the plot I thought was pretty safe. The dinosaur stuff was sweet. Like all the action sequences in the movie, I thought were all done really well. I also like that they use a lot of new dinosaurs, like all the action scenes and sequences, and a lot of the focus is mainly on new dinosaurs. I'm also one of the people that don't mind having mutant dinosaurs in the movie either. Because I know a lot of people are complaining, but they're all technically mutants anyways to begin with. Because all just genetic experiment freak animals that just look like dinosaurs. So having, again, something that ties into the Jurassic Park franchise is having these weird hybrid creatures with spliced random dinosaur DNA makes sense for the franchise. So doesn't bug me at all. I kind of digged them. I know, like I said, like the D-Rex. When I first saw the toy and some of the images, I'm just like, okay, it's what we're getting. In the movie, I thought it was cooler, but again, it's just the Rancor. One nitpick I have, I would say, major nitpicks I got is, I wish the dinosaur sequences were just like very focused. It was pretty much like each dinosaur kind of has a scene in the movie, and that's it. Like there's like Spinosaurus kind of has its own thing, and then for the most part, not really brought up ever again in the movie. For the most part, and then like each of them has like their focus action scene, and then we move on to a new thing. it'd be kind of cool to maybe have, like, for instance, there's a lot of publicity around this certain guy. I will say, not in the movie as nearly as much as you would think. Again, kind of reminds me of Godzilla in a way too, because a lot of this movie, I feel like if you take Godzilla 2014, you take Jurassic Park 3, bash it together. That's kind of what you get for this movie. Because even a lot of the scenes, if you've seen any Garth Edwards movie, it's got a lot of the same things going on with it in terms of that. There's a lot of homages and kind of scene setups to other things that's happened in Jurassic Park and other franchises. Again, Rancor. Yeah, I wouldn't even say segmented bits. Like, for it has a nice flow to it, but it just feels like almost kind of like a video game in a way. I know I've watched some reviews and I've seen some people kind of bring up that the plot reminds you a lot of like a video game in a way. And to be honest, the way the setup, the way it is, it's almost kind of like if you have like Shadow of the Colossus, I think would be like a good example where like there's a little bit of adventure. You get to that creature's encounter, and then a little bit more goes on. You get to the next creature encounter, a little bit more in between, next creature encounter, so on and so forth. No, I like 2014. Again, I'm not saying bad things about the movie. It's just the way that the movie's kind of set up. It's just um, like for me, and I guess this might get a little spoilery, so heads up if you want to mute it real quick. But with the D-Rex and how much of a focal point this guy is, I thought he was going to have a bit more of a presence in the movie. Because you have like the initial scene, like the parts you've seen in the trailer. But I thought this guy would have more of like a looming threat throughout the entire movie. Not so much. Like when you get to when you get to your creature encounter, you know what's up. So that'd be like probably the most spoiler thing I say in this for the most part. It's just like I liked him. I liked him better than I thought I was going to, but again, I'm still like a little disappointed in the end. But it still had some cool stuff, like cool scenes and interactions. Which is probably like a reason why I compared a lot to JP3 is I kind of thought it was going to be like it was going to be kind of like the Spinosaurus of the JP3 where it was just going to be kind of like that threat while they were on the island, like always looming while other dinosaurs are being introduced and stuff's happening. But the way the movie's set up, it wouldn't make sense if it would have got introduced and then they were like, oh, this is the thing, but we're still going to go do other stuff while we already know this is going to be a thing. Without getting too much spoilery, there isn't too much dinosaur on dinosaur violence in this movie. Unlike Jurassic Park 3 and like the World movies, it's definitely more akin to like Lost World in its setup in a way, where some of the dinosaurs there's some interaction, but not a lot. Actually, I was kind of surprised as there's a certain dinosaur that barely has any presence in the movie. That's had like a big focal presence in like every movie. It's barely in this one. Yeah, like there's a little bit of like the dinosaurs interacting, but not too much. Um, yeah, because I think the one was mentioned in the trailer, but again, I don't want to get too much into it because there's just people hopping into the stream. But for the most part, when the dinosaurs have their spotlight in the movie, like they have the spotlight. Honestly, probably the standouts for me is I really like the Quetzalcoatl one. I thought was a cool sequence. Because the nice thing too is, of course, it's a Jurassic Park movie, so like, there's gonna be human fodder in the movie. The Quetzalcoatl was pretty sweet. The Mosasaur sequence is really sweet too. It kind of reminds me a bit of Not as good as like Godzilla -1 in a way, but like the boat tension scene with the monster in the water, it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Too many. We have too many figures. Selling some a little bit here and there lately, but we probably got at least a good 1,000 action figures plus between action figure statues and whatnot here. Just Jurassic Park, there's easily hundreds down here between the new Mattel stuff, the old Kenners, random other merchandise, her obsession with the stuffed animals. It's a lot of Jurassic Park and dinosaur plushies, plus just their other just random dinosaur stuff handing out down here. Just in that. Then there's my stuff, which there's probably like a few hundred Godzilla figures. My office has easily a few hundred figures handing out in there as well. Easily. Probably got like a little over 100 just in Power Ranger stuff. Between Power Ranger, Star Wars, there's like a few hundred hanging out down in there. Anime stuff, I think I'll like probably got like maybe like 100-ish hanging out. Definitely slowed down a little bit with it lately, mainly because the economy, the way it is right now, is just hard to really like focus buy a lot of things. So I just get stuff here and there. Then also I'm starting to play Magic a little bit more, so some of my figure fund went to purchasing some cards. Favorite movie of all time? If you watch the channel for a while, it's not a surprise. But it would be the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But I appreciate the $5 donation. I was just double checking because it looked like you did two $5, but it's the exact same question. So you got another question. I'll definitely toss it out there too. But yeah, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is like my perfect movie. From the 1990s. They said it twice. Well, like I said, if you got another random question, definitely don't mind. It's definitely a lot of nostalgia for me because growing up, it was one of the first movies I ever seen in movie theaters. Next to The Land Before Time. I remember Land Before Time and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So it's like one of my first movies. I feel like for me, it's gotten better with age. Like the more I've grown up, the more I've gone to just appreciate that movie more and more. Like I don't think there's really a bad character in the movie. I love the Jim Henson suits. I think the plot works really well. I love the grittiness, but it still has a little bit of humor to it. The fight sequences are sweet. Like, it took a long time, I feel like, to get a comic book movie that was even close to the caliber that the 1990s Turtle movie was. Probably not until like the Nolan Batmans, I say, would even remotely compete with me. And then I'd still pick Turtles, just for me, because it's also like it's a shorter movie to watch, while still being good. It's like the best Casey Jones we ever gotten, and I feel like animated live action. Yeah, as I would say, it's my favorite Turtles that we've ever gotten. I think April might be like the one I would maybe say Judith Hogue. I like Judith Hogue's in that movie. I don't know if she'd be my favorite April because I also like the cartoon, the OG cartoon April. In 2012, April wasn't too bad either. But yeah, easily my favorite movie. I know it's not the best movie ever, but it also just like memories of watching it with my older brother growing up and such too. It has a little bit, like I said, it brings a lot of feelings when I'm watching it. And I still think it's just like overall just a good movie, which definitely helps a lot. But yeah, it's also just like my favorite like Turtles. Yeah, anything with like Turtles done too. I like that one. Secret of the Use. Like I like all the original three. Honestly, the Jurassic Park franchise, it's kind of like they keep kind of digging themselves into a hole. I feel like I kind of like where this one was starting to like kind of taking us, because it's almost like with this one, it's not really tied to like the Jurassic Park movies. This is almost kind of like its own little offshoots from the franchise, which I kind of hope that if they were going to do more of these, they would kind of continue doing that and just like giving us like new stories and tidbits that just like tie into Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, but not like directly focused. Like you don't have to bring anybody else back from the originals. We don't need Chris Pratt's character brought back. Well, I like Chris Pratt in the first one. The other ones, but I personally, for me, I would just like them to see them again, just do more like offshoots of Jurassic Park instead of trying to like I don't want the sequel to be like a continuation from this movie. Maybe coming back to the location, but maybe involving different characters with a different story thread. Yeah, that was the one thing I kind of alluded to earlier. Is it was weird that certain dinosaurs had like minimal screen time, which is kind of refreshing too, to be honest. Like I said, I personally like that a lot of the focus of the movie was on new dinosaurs and monsters, which I also like I mentioned, the whole fact of them introducing more genetic hybrid dinosaurs and stuff, kind of like the chaos effects. I think for me was a cool touch. Favorite video game? That's a harder one. For the longest time, I would say probably Shadow of the Colossus was probably my favorite one. I kind of brought it up earlier in the stream. That one was a really sweet game for me. I honestly had quite a bit of replayability too for what it was, because it's just like you're on your adventure with your horse slaying 20 giant monsters. But just like the way you like progress, and then you find out you're actually the bad guy and everything was like a sweet plot twist, and it was just like like super entertaining for me. Just trying to having to figure out how to kill them was a super fun one. Although nowadays, like Elden Ring was, I adored Elden Ring. It's probably the game I've had the most hours in a long, long time. And then growing up, it was probably like Super Mario World. I played a ton of too. So it was like Super Mario World, Panzer Dragoon Saga for the Sega Saturn. Was it Sega Saturn? I think it was Sega Saturn. Played a lot of that one. Star Fox 64. I really liked that game a lot growing up. Yeah, I thought we mentioned that earlier too with the D-Rex. I thought it was going to have like a little bit more of a focus in the movie. Yeah, we played Warhammer. Yeah, I was going to say actually, Aaron in the stream. We played the game with him. And Warhammer 40K was sweet. It's not like I've never really got too much into the figures. Oddly enough, me being a dude that paints figures for money on the side. I did play Halo. I do really like Halo too. So I got like I have some action figures for Halo. Probably my favorite one, honestly, is probably Reach. Reach I played a ton of. Reach and 3 were probably the Halos I played the most. At least multiplayer wise. Reach was fun though. I had a lot of fond memories of Reach. Because funny enough, Halo 2 is probably the one I played the least of, because I never really owned an original Xbox. Most of my gaming experience with Xbox was there was a church I helped out with. We had like a little game center there, so we would do like Halo tournaments and stuff there. So I played Halo there, and like all my friends had Xboxes, so I would just go over and play Halo. And then eventually I got it for the PC, played it on there. So 2 is the one I played the least. 3 I played a ton of. Like an obsessive amount. Probably not until Call of Duty 4 came out. And then Halo got put to the wayside a little bit then. Played a ton of Reach. 4 I played more of than I probably should have for the game. Because we played the multiplayer for a little while before it got a little stagnant. And then the new ones, I've just played the campaign. I could have been, but I think the river raft scene still worked out really well. Like that overall sequence was really fun. Yeah, it could be cool to see it because seeing more of the herbivores would have helped to make the island feel a little bit more lively. So I could definitely get behind that. Because once they're on the island, it's mainly just locations and then a couple of sequences here with some other dinosaurs. But again, it's like certain dinosaur has the focus of that scene. Move on to the next one. And it would kind of cool to see a few more dinosaurs littered about. Like I guess bet you do. You do get some sparseness of other animals showing up and some stuff. But it could be cool to see like a little bit more going on. Especially during like the big herbivore sequence. Having other herbivores hanging out. Oh yeah, we got Predator stuff. Mainly it's just like the NECA movie figures is what I got. Now my Halo stuff's out. It's just kind of hanging out over yonder. There's a bunch of boxes and dinosaur stuff in the way of it currently. Because in my office I have a Master Chief hanging from my ceiling, and then got the guy over there. I can go over and show you guys in a few, but I have to pop the phone off here in order to show you guys. Yeah, it would be kind of cool to maybe. I was expecting to see something with the DRX in terms of fighting, but I feel like I'm geared towards thinking that with just the way the world movies have been so far. Like I said, this is probably the first one we got that feels a lot more like a Jurassic Park movie, so it kind of made sense. I have to go and check. It kind of made sense the way that they ended up setting up the movie in terms of the way like the dinosaurs interact with each other. It definitely harkens back more to like the first movie, Lost World, in that regards. Ripley, what are you doing? I know you still here. Can you smell a killer? Did you get in the kitty box? I think somebody got into the litter box. Did you get in the litter box? I definitely don't want you to look at my face if you got in the litter box. I feel like you did. Did you get in a litter box, Ripley? Were you naughty? Mm-hmm. Definitely smells something on you. Appreciate your peaties. I don't want you to have if you're in the litter box. Get down. Gross. Nope. Gross. Stop back at the. Oh God! Now she's knocking at everything. Oh no. Ripley. No, you. This is my life with this dog. It's like Casey's either climbing on me or the dog's climbing on me. One or the other. Sometimes both. I know you're big goofy. What are you guys talking in the cat litter box? Because of you, I haven't had to scoop things out. You need to stop. You need to stop. Now, I wouldn't go as far as saying I was like disappointed with it. With the way that it kind of set it up. It would be really nice to have like an after credit scene though. I think would have been kind of cool. There's no after credits in the movie, if you're wondering. Because it had some cool sequences, but there wasn't yeah, it's pretty much like they treated the D-Rex as like your big finale at the ending, instead of having even more stuff going on, which I think worked, but it was one of those weird things where there wasn't as much tension as you would think for those sequences. Like there were certain sequences earlier in the movie that I think did a better job at building up tension than what you got with the D-Rex. Like D-Rex was almost more of like a spectacle than anything, which almost kind of hurted itself a little bit in that way, in that regards. Like the raft scene with the T-Rex, I thought was really well done with the tension going on there. The Mosasaurus, kind of this is same gist going on there too. Quetzalcoatl part was just fun, I thought. It would have been sweet reveal, although you kind of get a good look, well, a solid look at it early on. I think the only thing for me is it almost seems like it changes size in the movie. I don't know how much of that is just like my initial reactions to certain stuff that happens in some of the scenes, but it almost feels like its size like shifts between things that are going on. Because there's one part I seen, I'm like, how big is this thing that's doing certain stuff? And then the next scene, they're just like, okay, so it's like a little bigger than a T-Rex. All right. So it's like, yeah. But no, actually, like I said, I dig the design after having watched the movie. I'm just more now. I kind of want like a Hammond collection D-Rex or something. Have like a solid, like fully posable version of it. I think would be really sweet. Something with like a little bit more of an accurate face than what you see in the movie. Because for me, this is almost like too narrow from what I recollect. Cat, why are you hiding in the Halloween box? We're working on this Michael Myers figure, and Ripley or Servo's currently hanging on the empty shipper box that it was in. But anyways, I think we're gonna call it good here for just kind of some of my thoughts. I'll probably do a full review sometime in the near future. If I get a chance, I'll probably sit down tomorrow and do a quick little video so I can edit it. But overall, like the movie. Thought the dinosaur sequences were sweet. Plot's pretty basic, but works relatively well for what was presented. No, the acting really stood out to me as being super bad. Like some of it was, some of it was. I don't like to use the word phoned in, but just the way that they were presented, it was just. I kind of wish you could relate to some of the characters a little bit better, or maybe not relate, but some of the emotions that they're trying to make you feel in the movie. I think it would have helped if we had got to spend a little more time with some people than what we did. Maybe had like a backstory sequence with the characters, and then we get to today, like what the central plot of the movie is. I think it would have been kind of cool. Granted, a lot of this also pushed the runtime up, so I get why it's not in the movie, but it would have been kind of nice. But for like a popcorn flick movie, this movie's sweet. For me, like I said, I would put it above Jurassic Park 3. I don't know if I would put it above the First World movie, because again, I know now everybody liked Jurassic World, the first one, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. Kind of got me like a little bit reinvigorated in the franchise, and then it fell hard off the wayside after that. But this one I feel like kind of hovers around in that same area, where I kind of like the plot pacing a little bit better in World, but I like the way the dinosaurs are presented overall better in this one. And I think, honestly, the D-Rex is a little bit more of a unique design than the Indominus Rex. Granted, I like the Indominus Rex, but the D-Rex kind of makes more, like, the Indominus Rex was like a successful hybrid creature, while the D-Rex was not a successful hybrid creature. And I kind of wish the movie maybe focused a little bit more on that. I think would have been sweet too. But I would put them both currently around the same tier for me, and then be Lost World and then the first Jurassic Park. But I left the theater relatively happy. So definitely a bonus. It's not like Dominion where I walked out was just like, God, we have to buy the things that go with this movie because I don't wanna. Yeah, no. I like I said, I dig the movie quite a bit. I thought it was pretty sweet. It's definitely the best Jurassic World movie we got in a while. Like I said, there's not really too much for me to really like super complain about. It's more like nitpicking than anything. Like I said, I love the way everything's like the dinosaur presented in the movie. I think that's the one like super positive Garth Edwards. He's really great at like making everything feel to scale. Yep, came out today. You can watch it today, which is funny because we actually were trying to go watch it in IMAX, and oddly enough, this is the first time in a long time that IMAX, because we didn't buy the tickets in advance, they sold out. We were like, which what? So it's probably going to do great this weekend, just as a heads up. So we didn't get to go watch it at IMAX, but we did watch it at it's the first time being at an Imagine Theater. There was an Imagine Theater that was close enough by that we could still make it within around the show times that we really wanted to. So we checked out the Imagine Theater, which is actually sweet. I actually kind of dig that one too. So first time going to Imagine Theater, I'd recommend them. The seats were sweet. We're actually up front too, and it wasn't even that big of a deal. Usually I hate sitting up front. It wasn't so bad in there. And I think a lot of it had to do with like the reclining chairs and whatnot. They're pretty comfy too. And weren't torn up. So that's positive. It's better than theaters around here. Because one theater I used to love going to around here, they have like the best popcorn of like anybody in the remote vicinity. Like their concessions, even though overpriced, were easily the best. And they have like gone to be from being my favorite one to the worst one in town by a lot. And then we have a small theater like downtown, but it's a much smaller theater, so I only really like ever going to that one for like horror movies and such. Like big spectacle movies, I wouldn't recommend going to it. But overall, like the concessions and the atmosphere there is solid. Seating's all right. Then there's the AMC. When we have an AMC theater on here, which is fine. Concessions suck though there, so I don't really like going to that one. So for the most part, like any of these like big budget movies, I always go out of town. So Imagine Theater's sweet, and the IMAX that we got around here is also pretty dope. Hey Rez, hey Cookie Master, but doing good. So hoping to work on some commissions today. Ain't happening. I'll get back to doing more commission stuff tomorrow. Is the hope. I had to ship out some stuff for Etsy and whatnot the past couple days, so I was working on that stuff. The one that was at Imagine was they actually still had them, which is surprising. Was the T-Rex head. So it was the T-Rex that you could open up, and it was the popcorn bucket. My wife had like no interest in picking it up, and for like $40, we could live without it. But it was solid. I know we've seen the. Oh, what are the other ones that came out? There's the T-Rex footprint, which I kind of like. That's more of like something you buy to like put on your wall, I feel like, but it's a solid one. The one she really wants is the embryo one, which I think is the best one too. Even lights up. Funny enough, we don't actually have that many like the collector's popcorn buckets, which have become way more of a thing as of recently. I still want to get. The problem is they're super expensive now. I think it's from Universal Studios Japan, but they have like the Evangelion popcorn buckets where it's like the mech heads, and there's a Kiryu one too. Would love those. Mainly just because it's giant heads that I could put in my room. would be dope. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things like it's a novelty. Then you get free you get your popcorn with it too, so you gotta take that into consideration. Still quite a bit of money though for a T-Rex head. When we got T-Rexes galore around here, so not really as necessary. If anything, we're gonna probably try to get the embryo. There's the alien one too. The alien one would have been sweet. We're gonna get a hold of that one. There's also the Jaws popcorn bucket that's coming out too. That one's kind of sweet, where it's like his mouth opens and he does the popcorn inside of it. I like that one. We're debating on trying to get that. It's kind of cool that they do a lot more like popcorn bucket focused stuff nowadays. Oh, is it not? Oh, Cook O Master. Is that how you say it? I know from this distance, I got like two lights, so I saw Cook Monster. It looked like Master. So Cook O Master. Yeah, because that's technically the IMAX is an AMC over. It's like a 50-minute drive from here. It's probably like the best one we were going to for a while. I like that's where I've seen like all the Godzilla movies from 2014 onward. We've gone to watch it there. Sweet. As we saw Pacific Rim there. Any of like the Marvel movies we've gone down there to watch. Yeah, pretty much any action ones. I think we went to watch Sonic down there too. Not mistaken. We went and saw Shin down there. Shin in -1 because they were the only theater that had it around here. So yeah, so I've seen like every Godzilla movie there. Yeah, because the only ones I've seen in town, we watched 28 years later, we watched in town. It had the stalest popcorn at our AMC theater at our local mall. Like I said, it's a fine theater. Don't buy concessions when you go there. Oh, and the poster line? I doubt it. At least in the foreseeable future, I would doubt it. Right now, it just seems like they're just re-releasing Godzilla figures, which is odd because one of the figures that they teased is the 2014 Godzilla, and it's probably not going to be updated. So it's just going to be a re-release of a figure that we've gotten like three other versions of. At least with the new ones, the Shin's actually kind of exciting because the only way to get the purple Shin originally was the Awakened versions, and God, that thing was expensive to get a hold of originally. This is actually cheaper to pick up than that figure was. You don't get all the fun accessories that one has, which kind of sucks. Granted, it's going to be nice for my Etsy shop because I'll be able to make the effects myself, sell them, which is probably what I'm going to be doing. But for the most part, I would be hard pressed to believe, especially with them coming with the posters, that we would probably get the other monsters to go with them. Granted, they could do like for Biolante, they like this one would have the art illustration Biolante poster, and then Biolante could come with like the actual like normal poster. They could go that route with it. But I think for the most part, especially with some of them having reissues not that long ago, I can see them holding off. 89 is the weird one though. We had like that wasn't even that long ago. We had 89. Yeah, like you're mentioning, Russell, it's at least I get to skip everything. The only thing I'm like looking at the Shin is I like the purple on it better than the Awakened one, so it's like it's tempting. But then what do I do? Buy that one, then sell my Awaken minus the parts? So I'm going to be skipping it. I don't know. I hope not. I hope they're like plastic or acrylic. Maybe they're like acrylic stands. That'd be solid. I'd be okay with that. Still kind of hurts the price point on them, but I would much rather them just come with other accessories than a poster. But what you gonna do? At this point, I would just get the new one. Like the only reason you really want the Awaken over that one is because of with the beam smoke effects. but you're going to be paying like a few $100 extra over this one. And this one is not going to affect that one's price at all. Mainly because it comes with all the accessories. So it's still going to be the more desirable one to get. But that being said, you could just pay somebody to make beams for it and you save yourself some money. And this one, honestly, the coloring I think looks really good on it anyways. The only thing I would say, the Awakened one, I think had a better looking tail tip than this one, because this one just has like bright purple tail tip. Well, the other one actually has some like color differentiation with it. But if you want an atomic Shin Godzilla, this is the time to pick it up. I wouldn't be surprised if it's cardboard. Acrylic would be nice though. They did like those like acrylic anime statues that have become way more of a thing. If they did something like that with it, it would make it more acceptable. But I could see the point like the McFarlane like movie monster, the movie Maniac series, and giving us the cardboard things, which are terrifying. I always still worry about my Jason X one. Trying to think what else. Was there any other new news for Godzilla stuff? There was the Comic-Con -1, which was a little disappointing. Like, it's nice that an exclusive Godzilla is getting a more general release with the beam. Well, I would have been more like if it would have been like damaged version at the end of the movie, like we done the custom for. That I would have been more inclined to buy. This one I get to skip. Plastic speech bubbles for God's sake, right? Could almost do it. Just need an acrylic sheet, and I got the sticker paper to put over top of it. It would work. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I maybe should do that with the Ingress and stuff being made out now. It's extra work though. Then I gotta hook up the printer. Radley, what you do? Are you trying to murder the couch back there? Huh? You got Casey's old bed that got murdered, and then she got too big for, so the mattress is down here for you guys to lay on. Big dorky puppy. Well, anyways, we've been going for an hour now, and I think I'm ready to go to bed. It's been a long day. But you can help us eat those kaijus by hitting that like button. Subscribe, become a Ranger Day. We also got Instagram, Patreon, TikTok, Facebook. Guys, I keep up the day with channel donate. I greatly would appreciate it. If you guys like to pick up some collectibles for yourselves, there's a link in the description for CalcusToys.com. If you guys are looking for your Haya Godzilla figures, still easily the best way to pick up Haya Godzillas right now, because they're the only place that gets them in right on time as of right now. They get at the same time because they're China based, so they get them same time as Haya would be shipping them. They're cheaper to buy from the Haya. You get a discount if you use code SteveCalcus to checkout, 6%, and do free shipping stateside because it's included in the price. So you see the price, it seems elevated, but it's already got the shipping included, so kind of think of it that way. Or if you guys like to pick up stateside stuff, link in the description also for Entertainment Earth. There's also the Etsy and my personal Instagram. If you guys are looking for customs commissions, beams are all down there as well. Yeah, I saw the movie, Matthew. Super sweet. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Trying to think, did I like it more than 28 years later? Probably. Which is odd. Now that I think about it. It's not like 28 years later, but 28 years later was a weird movie. To say the least. I'm kind of waiting to see how I feel like how the next movie is going to come out is going to really dictate how I truly feel about this one. It was a strange movie, but fine. Yeah, that's true. They do get them for some other China ones. Like, they're easily, like, honestly, the fastest way that I know to get a hold of them. Because even if you buy them, like, straight from Haya takes forever to ship. So, well, Calcus is relatively pretty quick. I know with the Evolved Godzillas, they were a little behind, but they've been shipping out slowly and surely. Uh, if you could get one for like 253, I would say you were probably about good to pick it up because the new one's about 200 around there to pick it up stateside. So I would spend like a little bit more to pick up the Awaken. But I feel like for beams and a smoke effect, that unless you're going to be displaying it with that stuff, really doesn't matter then. Thanks, Lady Draco. Yeah, it's actually it's technically my wife's shirt. She buys men's shirts, but she bought it for herself. But I was wearing it today for the movie. I guess I would see them doing a Shin Godzilla eventually. Be sweet. Curious to see how theirs would look. They are more comfy, that's for sure. Same with pants. Men's pants are way more comfy too. I accidentally wore one of her. I don't even know if it was her pants. I think it was she got like free pants from. They sometimes go to like the. Oh, it's like the donation stuff. They pick up some stuff. She brought me clothes one time, which was weird. And then one day I put on pants thinking they were one pants. Got home and realized I had butterflies on the back of the pants. I was wondering why my stuff wasn't fitting in my pocket that day. It was weird. And nobody said anything at work either. Movie was good. I enjoyed the movie quite a bit. Repeating this a lot this live stream, but for me, I feel like I would put it above Jurassic Park 3. Probably hovers around Jurassic World for me. And then I would put the first two above both of them easily. But I feel like this and like the first Jurassic World kind of hover in that same echelon of how I felt when I left the movie, with JP3 being slightly after. JP3, I feel like the thing that hurts me the most is just like the human characters. I really didn't really care for much of the supporting cast for that one, which makes it a bit of a slog. But just a bit. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Maybe.